The creepypasta backstory's origin. Benjamin Peters, also known as Ben, drowned. He groaned and pushed himself away from his hands and knees, wiping blood away from his face for probably the 100th time that day. The small blonde-haired boy watched as 3 other boys walked away laughing and sighed. He pulled his knees to his bruised body and laid his chin on them. That boy is Benjamin Peters, 13 years old and a victim of bullying. Those bullies are Jack, Andrew, and Travis. For years now they've been bullying him, only because he was a gamer. Ben sighed and got back to his feet and walked slowly into his house. He went into his room, changed out of the bloody shirt, and collapsed onto his bed, letting silent tears fall. Hours later, he woke up, realizing he had fallen asleep. He looked at the calendar and saw it was Saturday. Ben got up and walked downstairs, instantly attacked by his younger brother and sister. They were twins, Diana and Derek. "Leave me alone," he snapped. "Benjamin, do not talk to your brother and sister that way," his mother said from the kitchen. Ben rolled his eyes. "Oh, and a package came in for you last night." He walked into the kitchen and saw a game lying on the counter. He forgot about everything for a second as he grabbed it and ran back into his room. He put the game into his Nintendo 64, Majora's Mask, and started playing. For many hours he played his Zelda game. "Benjamin, get off your game," his mother said, walking into his room 7 hours later. "I've almost finished," he started. "Now, Ben," his mother said, much more force in her voice this time. "But..." He stopped talking when his mother shot a glare at him. Ben sighed and saved the game. "Take your brother and sister to the park. You could use the fresh air too," Miss Peters said before walking out. Ben groaned and turned off the gaming system. He trudged down the stairs and put on his shoes. "Derek, Diana," he called. They came sprinting into the front hall. "Put your shoes on. Mom is making me take you to the park," he mumbled. They cheered and threw on their shoes, bolted out the door, with Ben following. He let them get ahead, but not that far. He sat down on a bench in the park and stared at the lake, at the still water, the bridge that allowed you to cross it. "Can we go home?" Derek asked, walking back up an hour and a half later. "You and Diana go back. I'll be back later," Ben told him. "Okie dokie," Diana giggled, and the 2 twins started running back towards the house. Ben took out his headphones and started listening to music, songs of Legend of Zelda. It wasn't long until the sun set and the moon replaced it. He decided it was time to head back. He put his phone back into his pocket and stood up. "Where do you think you're going?" someone growled from a few feet away. "Jake." He tensed up, not wanting to deal with Jake and the others right at that moment. However, he didn't have a choice. Someone punched him in the gullet and he choked. "Where you going, Zelda? Back to your princess?" Jake growled, coming into his field of vision, Andrew and Travis at his side. "Zelda is the princess, you idiotic bastard," Ben snapped. "Bad idea." Andrew threw a punch at Ben, so strong and so sudden that he was knocked off his feet. He tasted blood in his mouth as the 3 boys started kicking him repeatedly. He felt one more blow to the side of his head before blacking out. When Ben came to, he was on the bridge that crossed over the lake. Rough ropes tied his wrists and ankles. Ben looked around, panicked, and saw the 3 boys. "Please, you have to let me go," Ben pleaded. Jake laughed, a haunting, eerie laugh. "Any last words?" he said with a devilish grin. He couldn't make words for a second, but then said, "If I die here today, I will get you back for everything you have ever done to me." The 3 boys laughed before throwing him off the bridge and into the icy water. The little air in his lungs escaped. He kicked and thrashed, but the ropes kept him from actually swimming. Ben felt his body hit the sand on the bottom of the lake, his mind already foggy and vision blackening. He cried out one last time, but it was muffled by the water. The small boy closed his eyes, and never opened it again. 2 weeks later, his body was found, washed up on the edge of the lake. His mother gave all his games to Jake, who found the Majora's Mask game. He saw a file already made, Ben, and continued playing on that file. But strange things kept happening, telling he shouldn't have done that. 3 days later, Jake was found dead. He had hung himself. On his computer. The text document had a few simple words on it. You've met with a terrible fate, haven't you? Drowned. Over the next month, both Travis and Andrew killed themselves for a reason unknown. But each of their computers had the same document, with the same sentence on it. Rumors spread throughout the school, but no one will ever know who really caused their deaths, because anyone who does happen to figure out kills themselves. Their sanity too cracked and broken to tell anyone before they do it. Benjamin Peters got his revenge, but now he wants more. He is no longer Benjamin Peters, that innocent boy who was bullied. He was now Ben Drowned. Jake, Andrew, Travis, you shouldn't have done that. You really shouldn't have.